Hi, this is going to be my video review of the Floto leather cargo duffel bag carry-on travel bag large. The name's quite a bit of a handful, but essentially I got this bag as an alternative to my saddlebag side pocket duffel, which I reviewed a little bit earlier. The criticisms I had with the side pocket duffel has essentially been addressed when it comes to the Floto carry-on duffel bag. One of the biggest issues I had with side pocket duffel was not only just the weight, if you watch my other videos, but how inaccessible all the pockets were. So I decided to take a look at what Floto had because I have other luggage that I use to travel for Floto that I really enjoy and really like. So we'll start off with the basics first of all. This bag itself is 21 inches across and then 11 inches in depth and 11 inches in height. It's almost a carbon copy of the size of the side pocket duffel, which is 20.25 inches across, 10 inches tall, and 11.25 inches deep. So give or take about an inch in each direction, the two bags are almost identical in size. So what is it about the Floto bag that I like so much? Well, the Floto bag, like all the other bags that they make, is made of vegetable tan leather. So unlike the saddleback, at even a lower price point, they actually give you vegetable tan leather, which I think is pretty incredible. You really don't find vegetable tan leather at the price point of the Floto bag. On top of that, they use calfskin leather. Now, if you go to their website and look at their production process, there is one thing Floto does with their leather that Saddleback doesn't, which is that Saddleback uses the full thickness without any type of variation in the leather. They don't really thin out the hide a little bit, which Floto actually does. And the reason Floto does that is they want the strength of the leather, but they also want the lightness of a travel bag. So one of the biggest issues I have with a saddleback bag is that by itself it weighs a lot, which means that when you start to put your luggage in it and you're carrying it through the airport, it gets incredibly heavy. Floto, on the other hand, has decided to go with high quality vegetable tan leather, but they use slightly thinner leather. It still holds up, it's still very durable, but granted, it isn't as thick as Saddleback's leather. The advantage of this is that you basically get a leather bag that's vegetable tan, however, weighs almost nothing, which is what you really need in a travel bag. The other thing that I like about Floto is they line the inside of their bag with cotton. I think it's a cotton twill blend, and it's actually made in the United States. It's a very attractive inside. It also just makes it much easier to use and much easier to play around with, and you don't have to worry about the weight of leather on both sides. You basically just have leather and a much lighter but still very tough interior lining. So let's start off with the price of the bag itself. The Floto bag retails for roughly $280. That by itself is about half the price of Saddleback's bag. The quality of the bag itself, so we'll start with the shoulder strap here. Like many Floto shoulder straps, it uses a dog chain, a dog leash clasp on both sides, made of what appears to be pretty solid materials, some sort of metal material here. It is riveted as well as sewn, and it comes with a shoulder pad with the Floto logo. One side here is the suede, while the other side is the vegetable tan leather. The actual strap itself isn't very thick. It's probably roughly an inch across, and it has a handful of adjustments for length, but not really a whole lot, about 4 holes for you to choose from. It's designed essentially for you to carry the bag pretty comfortably once you have it strapped on. The bag itself also comes with 2 hand straps to hold it. There is a little securing piece of leather here that you can clip on and basically holds the handle together and allows you to carry the bag through the airport or throw it in and out of your car or whatever it is you need to do without too much trouble. It keeps the handles together so they don't fall apart on you. The handles themselves have a pretty good drop height to them, so if you have them hanging next to you as you're walking, it's a very comfortable length. If you get it, if you have your arm hanging to your side, the bag itself doesn't scrape against the ground, but it's low enough down that you don't feel awkward holding it really far away from your body. It's far enough down that your arm hangs at a very natural height. What I really love the most about Floto bags for travel is they have a lot of attention to detail that is very important to travelers that most people may not really notice when you look at the bag at first glance. So first of all, the bottom of the bag, you will see that there is leather along all sides, but there are 5 feet along the bottom, which means that you can set this bag up on any ground, any airport, on the tile, on the carpet, and you don't really have to worry about the leather along the bottom scratching. One of the biggest fears I have with my side pocket duffel when I'm traveling is that if I'm not careful about where I set the bag down, or if I drag it along the ground, or if I'm throwing it onto a countertop or something, if there happens to be an uneven surface, I might scratch the leather or damage the leather in some way. This is a very tough vegetable tan leather that's not going to be damaged, and the feet themselves also do a great job protecting the bag. The bag has several pockets and is very accessible. There are 2 side pockets here that make up both ends. Great zipper mechanism that zips very easily, open and close. And once you get into here, you have one very large open side pocket here for you to throw whatever you need to be easily accessible. I tend to throw shoes, socks, miscellaneous stuff in here, and then it gets filled with usually some small amount of dirty laundry as I'm traveling. The other side here is usually where I put most of my toiletries, so it makes it easily accessible. If I'm flying, I get to an airport and need to brush my teeth or something. After a long haul flight, I can easily access this. Floto itself has added one unique feature, which I absolutely love, which is there is a front and rear pocket along the main compartment. It is a very wide and has a good amount of depth in it, but isn't very, you can't really fit a whole lot in here. What I find I fit a lot in here are documents I need while I travel, paperwork I need, and then I can throw, a tablet in here, pens, papers, and I can easily access them. There's one in the front and one along the back. So if you have one that's closer to your body, you can put more of your valuables in there, while the other one you can, put things that a thief may not find very valuable. There's one large main compartment in the middle that is secured by a zipper. So if I take out this paper that I have kind of holding the shape of the bag, you can see it is just one massive compartment that you can put whatever you want into it. There is one zipper pocket along the inside of this compartment that allows you to put in, small little knickknacks that you may have, things that may, slip away from you. It's not a very deep pocket, I will give you that, but you can fit a good amount of stuff in here. The bag itself is super flexible, which means that it kind of fits the shape of whatever you put in it. If you don't fill the bag up all the way, it can be, a little bit kind of floppy on you. If you do fill it in well, you do get a pocket here that folds actually back further than the size of the top of the bag, which means that you can bend it backwards and get access to the complete interior large compartment very easily and very quickly. There's also a little loose pocket here. You can see isn't very tight against the side of the bag. And this is great for chargers or whatever else you have that, wires, loose pieces that you can just throw in here and kind of tamp against the side, and it holds it fairly well while you're traveling. Overall, this is a bag I prefer to travel with a lot more than my saddleback. If you're looking for an alternative to the side pocket duffel, you don't want to give up the idea of having a leather bag, but you want one that is easily accessible and has all the features of, a typical travel duffel bag that you're looking for, that, you can pack for a week and be able to get to and be able to use in the airport without having to open up every single individual buckle to get to. I highly recommend the Floto. If you want a more in-depth review, continue following along my channel. I will be rolling out a couple more videos, so my usual 3 video series where I do a video along the outside, a video about the inside of the bag, and then an overall video of the bag itself.